let's talk about you and your sick little fucking fetish.
I think it's finally hitting me. The realization that Yugioh Vrains is actually ending. I watched just yesterday from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, a review from that dude Pete. All right, Dylan wasn't on. It was this dude Pete, and he stated that there's like 3 episodes left. The one of that week, and then the next one, and then after that one, the final one. And that's what it seems to be boiling down to everything. Of course, I expect you guys to watch the episode, then come here and watch this episode. I mean, watch this video. This is going to be exclusively for Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains this time around, since it's coming so close to the end. Once Vrains is ending, I'll talk about more anime and stuff, or just maybe just things I'm watching in general. Added to that, along with the anime stuff. So hopefully the mic levels are alright and everything. So I think it finally hit me when I was watching it that yeah, this is the ending of Reigns. This is how it ends. I haven't really in my mind. I'm not like, yo, Reigns is ending. To me, it's like, okay, well, next week more Reigns. You know what I mean? Because for me, a lot of the time, Reigns has just been filler. Which is funny to say, because I know a lot of people are like very amped up for the story, but I only really cared about Ai and Yusaku and all that. So now here it comes ending with Ai and Yusaku, and I don't know how to really feel about that. You know what I mean? Anyway, personal feelings aside, I want to talk about the epicness of this episode. Sadly, there's not much for me to actually talk about unless I get sidetracked into some other stuff. Because this episode is mainly dueling and mainly action and little to no story, which is not bad because it's a duel. This is the third episode of the duel, I believe. 1, 2, yeah, 3, and then 4. So it's a 4-part duel. And before I talk about the duel itself, what I want to say is, when I finished the episode, I said, "Oh man, there may not be a lot of things to talk about," just because of the fact of the nature of the episode. I had to wait two weeks to actually make one when it was long. It was 20 minutes and all that stuff. So you know what I mean. Struggle to find the struggle to find the struggle to say something. That sentence doesn't make entirely sense saying it, but you understand the concept of it. So let's talk Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains now. Sadly, you had to wait 3 minutes. Yusaku is the playmaker, I have to say. He is making the play. I have no clue how the hell to get around the arrival, except probably by Dark Fluid's abilities. But how the hell do you get Dark Fluid out on the field? Yusaku, well, first what happens, I have the episode right here. You're gonna hear a lot of clicks and clanks. What ends up happening with Yusaku is he ends up using his monster that's what's it called? X Slayer, the evolved form of that of Link Slayer. It's like X Slayer, something like that. It has a lot of good effects, basically. So when a Cyverse is linked to it, battle damage becomes 0. So that's how Quantum survives. That's how his XE monster survives. And he does not take the damage. His life points are like 3,000. His life points are fucked. There's like 3,475 at the beginning of this. So this battle, I have to be honest, is very epic in a sense. Out of all the duels I've seen, this battle is a very, will they, won't they. It's coming very close. Most of the time, it's like a big blow hit a person, and they went from 4,000 to 500. You know what I mean? They're chipping away at each other very slowly, very methodically. They're using all their effects that they have at their advantage. Nothing's being left out, and it's just being chipped and chipped and chipped until nothing remains in this fight, in this duel. So he does manage to survive Yusaku. Yusaku manages to survive and all that. Sadly, we don't have that epic space battle we see in the beginning. But of course, that's more like for looks, obviously. A part of me did want them to actually be in space and shit like that. I think that would be cool. I think Yusaku and I should have had I think they really should have had a speed duel at the beginning of everything. Oh shit. Oh, my computer's alright. Alright, so. The hell is this? Okay. So, what ends up happening, battle-wise at least, is quantum attacks. Yusaku uses the effect, is saved, but the arrival uses its effects to destroy a monster, so it destroys quantum, and then Dark White ends up using its effect to inflict 500 damage. So this is kind of how the damage is taken in this episode. For each monster that is destroyed by Yusaku, Yusaku will lose 500, and that's how Yusaku kind of ends up in the shitter. Then Yusaku sets a card. He ends his turn. Firewall Exceed Dragon gets destroyed, and the arrival basically destroys it using a card effect because it's still linked and all that. So Yusaku takes another 500 damage. So there's that, and then finally, what ends up happening is that Yusaku uses that link monster, his defensive link monster, to link summon to another monster, and I was like, where the hell is this going? He summons out one monster. He summons out Link Guard or something like that. That summons out 2 tokens, and then he special summons a monster from his hand. Then he's able to change those 2 tokens into any type and attribute he wants. So he goes into Dark Dragon, and it didn't hit me until I finally said the words "I fusion summon." He uses the Link monster and the other monster, I think, to form a new. He summons out a new Link monster. So he goes into that Link monster, and then what ends up happening is that he uses the 2 that's on the floor over there. He sends them away to fusion summon into the card Revolver gave him, which people were saying that it's not an extra deck monster, but like, got him, I knew it. It is Burrowload Furious Dragon. So we finally see the fusion monster we all thought was going to be summoned, well, at least I thought it was going to be summoned during the Soulburn / Revolver duel. And now it's summoned here. And it hit me when he said fusion summon. I said, oh my god, this is the card Revolver gave him. And in a weird sense, hold on. I won't get to that. Well, yeah, in a weird sense, this is kind of like, because it's just so weird to see Yusaku have a barrel load card, and I's like, oh, so that's that. So, oh, he gave you a card. Okay, that's the card he gave you, or something to that tune. A little fourth wall breaky there, I have to say. If he said that's the card he gave you, I don't really remember. I could click on here, but I don't think I really want to. Anyway, so what ends up happening? Basically, or to the form of this, is that it's kind of like Yugi with Blue Eyes. Like, you don't really expect Yugi to just summon out Blue Eyes White Dragon, but here he is with Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's very unexpected, kind of like the Noah duel, but that was more of him taking over. But could you imagine him just hard summoning Blue Eyes White Dragon, or he's like, I suppose summon a normal monster that's level 7 or higher, and then like he's like, come out Blue Eyes. It's so random. It's kind of like that. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Yeah, it's kind of like that because I wouldn't have expected him. Yusaku to summon out a monster from his rival, maybe a Spark Trap card, similar likely, but it's monster. So it's pretty like, wow. So I was gonna say, what if there's no limit to the extra deck in the anime? Just like whatever cards you could really fit in your deck. So Yusaku has like 20 in his extra deck. That's what it feels like. It feels like he has like 50. It's not 50. It feels like, yeah, he has like 20 cards in extra deck or something, like 16 or some shit. Anyway, so he ends up he ends up having enough monsters on the field to link summon into, and I like how the picture went from one thing and then it just changed to another, and that other was basically just the void of space and just water. And then he says the line, mysterious something, mysterious power from the deep or some shit. Give eternal life on this unknown seed or some shit like that. Of course, it's something chant for dark fluid. And he goes into the Link 5. Well, first, the circuit appears and all that stuff, and then, all three monsters that are on the field that he has, that are Link monsters that he summoned down and all that. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, Link markers he used, and he goes into Dark Fluid. So here comes out Dark Fluid. After he summons out Furious Dragon, which is pretty impressive because he does a combo. He gets on a monster, but with what's left on the field, he summons a little bit more. Then he goes into a whole another monster. So that's pretty cool in its own sense. The weak one came out first, so it's not like he went to Dark Fluid first and then did stuff for Furious Dragon. He went out with the weak one and then he did the strong, which is pretty cool in a sense. I do have to say. So now it's kind of like if a Tim appeared and he summoned out Blue Eyes and he summoned out Dark Magician. That's kind of the feel I got a bit. So here's Dark Fluid and here's Furious Dragon. These two monsters, and there are two owners whom protected and battled for the fate of the Cyvers, to defend the Cyvers, not Cyvers, but cyberspace, the virtual world, humanity, in their own form, here together, united, to battle the threat opposing humanity. It kind of wrapped all the way around. This is kind of a little bit of that tag duel everyone wanted. Everyone wanted Revolver and Playmaker. Well, most people wanted Revolver and Playmaker to fight each other. Revolver, Playmaker to fight Eye. So this is kind of it in a sense, in a way, which I think is nice. I like it a lot. I'll be honest. I love it. I really want to make a Yusaku-based Cyvers deck where the whole main goal is to get out Dark Fluid, or maybe not the whole main goal, but you know what I mean, go through all the summonings and all that. I think it would be really fun. I also want to make an Ignis deck now, an Ignis deck where the whole point is just to get out the Arrival and just bash your opponent in the face with it. I think that would be really fun to do. I don't know about you guys, but I really want to do it. I think I want to. It's real fun. I kind of got my own decks right now, so but I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be fun seeing these people play with these decks. Sadly, I think most people are going to turn into a Lunalight situation or Moonlight situation where they have like 3 key cards and then like the whole rest is just Danger or Quest. And they're just going to call it that because you could just turbo out the boss monster. Fuck them. Okay. We're not about that right now. We're not about fucking those people. Gamers rise up. Okay. Live in a society, man. Alright. So, story-wise, we finally learn. Well, the battle's not even over yet. Actually, yeah, I guess I could continue on with the battle. It's pretty. I loved it. I find it very impressive. Dark Fluid has enough attack. And he attacks Eye with it, and Eye does some stuff. Make sure the damage isn't. It won't kill him or something. 500 attack, that's the difference. 500 attack. Eye gets hit with it once, and he loses a bunch of attack. It wasn't a lot to send him flying, but you could definitely see the damage he's taken. His face is very worn out at this point. Effect of Cyvers happens again. Dark Fluid effect kicks in. Since he uses effect during the battle phase, he can go and attack again. Yusaku attacks again. That's another 500 chipped off of Ai's life. So Yusaku took 500 twice. I took 500 twice. You see how they're just chipping away at each other, just doing this damage. It's very impressive. I like it a lot. Thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh writers. I am satisfied with this duel so far. So hopefully, good end happens. I do like how the episode title is Breaking Down. Alright, there we go. I have it. I remember it now. Uh-oh. No, it's not. It's called Self-Breakdown. Uh-oh. So they're breaking down each other, This is a breakdown of the self, definitely. What ends up happening is... Was that it? Oh no. Some shit happened. The Yusaku lost... oh yeah, that's right. using the effect of Dark Fluid, the arrival used its effect as well. So now Dark Fluid has like little to no attack base on it. It's very weak. It's like 5,500. It has one counter left. The arrival basically uses effect, so now it becomes it can become affected by both players. With the counter, it was only it could not be affected by the opponent. Without the counter, now it can be affected by I think both players, maybe not both players. I think without the counter, the owner of the card can affect it basically, because there's some effects that are like some monsters read they cannot be affected. It doesn't matter who owns the card. So if I summon out that monster, I can't use something like stupid two-pronged attack. All right, it's a really old ass card. You tribute 2 of your monster, destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, or just 1 monster on the field, I think. Or if I use the card Oops, which says destroy 1 card you control. Yeah, I can't Oops a monster that says unaffected by card effects or something, because that includes me. That's why there's monsters that read specifically unaffected by your opponent's card effects. That means you can do what you want with it. Anyway, so he basically uses the effect of the rival, so that the rival at Ignister, he can do shit to it, and Judgment Arrows is linked up to it, so it gains the ability of Judgment Arrows, so it doubles his attack, or it gains 3,000, or whatever the hell Judgment Arrow does. I forgot. It gains attack. So Yusaka's about to be hit by 22,000, I think. Yeah, I think it's 22,000 attack. I could be wrong, because how you pronounce is that correct? Is it 22,000? I think it was 11,000 actually. I think it was 22,000. Yeah, I think the arrival's attack was 11,000, and then it doubled, so it went to 22,000. So that's what ended up happening, and Yusaku was able to not take that much damage because of the card effect. I don't remember what he used, but Dark Fluid is dead. And oh no, sorry, that's right. That's not what happened. He uses the effect of Furious Dragon, which destroys itself, and it destroys Judgment Arrows. And Revolver makes I makes the point saying that that's Revolver's card. Of course, it would be an anti Judgment Arrow card. He was always he was like the one most worried about Judgment Arrows. You know, the most anticipated of Judgment Arrows, which is very true. We saw him use many a card for Judgment Arrows. He's the one who had them out. So of course, the card he gave you would be that. That's what he tells you. So, which that's when it hit me too. I was like, oh shit, that's right. That's the effect. I forgot about the effect of Furious Dragon. I thought it had something to do with a gaining attack or something. I'm gonna be honest. I legitimately forgot the effect of Furious Dragon until it was brought up. 2 dark fusion dragons, 2 dark dragon type monsters. Sorry, 2 dark fusion dragons. So what ended up happening, all in all, and all that, was indeed, in fact, I don't know. I just wanted to use those words to build up to nothing, or to something, but that something was nothing. Taste the blood. All right, taste your fate. Swallow your pride with your hate. Do. That's not even how it goes. But so the tides of battle turns, and just the arrival destroys Yusaku's Dark Fluid. Yusaku gets hit with another 500, and Yusaku's life points are 420. 420, blaze it, 429 or some shit like that. It's like 430 or something. But he's like 495 life points, which is just like okay. It's been so long since a duel where life points have hit down to that number. The other 2 numbers, because usually we don't see that. Like it's usually just like 3,000, but this duel is like 3,700 and like 85. You know what I mean? Which is very rare in Yu-Gi-Oh. the card game itself and the anime for such a shit to happen. So, but math, I don't even know how the hell their life points even went like that. Did someone take 50 points of damage? I think someone took 50 points of damage, and like from that point on, it just all got fucked. So, like a half of a half of a half, Anyway, I don't even know what led up to this point. So, well, point-wise in life points, I should say. So what ended up happening and all that, onward and onward. That's basically where the episode leaves off. Is just basically that. So story-wise, so Yusaku has no monsters. I don't think he has any fucking hand cards. I'm gonna be honest. I think next episode he's gonna draw a card. That card's gonna leave off to some miraculous shit because I doesn't really have anything to activate or anything. I did make more of a perfect field, I guess you could say, because he summoned out 2 monsters, and those 2 monsters give me 2 conditions to the arrival ad ignister. Do note, I summoned out 2 monsters that are in defense position, so I is taking note, to make sure that the only monster Yusaku can truly face is indeed the arrival. And since he has those 2 monsters, it gains like 2 more 1,000 attack or some shit. So, really high numbers here. So I'm pretty sure Yusaku's gonna do some shit next turn. He's gonna probably, hopefully Yusaku does not play a card like Dark Fluid Matters or some shit with a picture of Dark Fluid on it, and like here comes out Dark Fluid, and he could put 10 counters on it. Just because it's like, okay, well, he won because of a plot device card over here. I'd rather Yusaku do some cool, like, that combo actually makes sense type of thing. His deck can do that combo, and then just like, well, attack over the arrival, and then just win the duel like that, or just attack over the rival. Maybe all the monsters I has left are just those weak ones. Then Yusaku just like take them out turn after turn. It's kind of like I don't know, like I reflects on everything that's happened or some shit like that as he slowly withers away by attack after an attack. All right, story wise, we finally find out. Thankfully, I thought they were gonna lose the secret that I gained from lightning. I believe this is a secret he gained from lightning. I could be wrong. It's that the simulations basically equate, since he's the only Ignis left. The only options is that the Earth is destroyed, and he redid the whole thing himself. And I just think, wow, that's pretty crazy as why. I have no clue if he inserted Yusaku data or some shit, or is this just solely I data? Because I'm pretty sure with Playmaker and Revolver around, things would happen to probably prevent such an outcome. But we don't actually see Yusaku, so that's why I'm kind of like, about it. Did the data include Yusaku? Because I'm like, if they showed like maybe Yusaku's duel destroyed or something, and then I would be like, oh, okay, in this dark future, Yusaku fails and Yusaku dies, But none of that. This wasn't like a 5D type of thing where it shows. Well, it doesn't show the protagonist losing, but a 5D type of deal. It shows basically the end of humanity, and the Yusaku, not Yusaku, Yusei basically trying to fight the fight but fails. The copy Yusaku. It's fine. The copy Yusei. Anyway, spoilers. I guess you say for 5Ds, right? This is your first Yu-Gi-Oh! You watch. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So that's the dark secret love. That's the dark secret truth right there, which I thought was interesting because apparently Lightning did anticipate him being defeated and all that, which is like, we made the jokes about Lightning causing everything. Then it seemed like, oh, I was the cause of everything now because of how Playmaker and all that. But here's Lightning putting more of his bullshit into plan into action over here. I looks like Lightning is the cause of more things now. But But what I said is true, is that once Rubapi gained free will, he started to hate humans. However, we know from watching Rubapi is that apparently I showed Rubapi a lot of videos of human actions that needed to be cleaned up. Or maybe what actually happened was I led Rubapi onto YouTube, and Rubapi wanted to see how the world really was, and he saw that the world was a dirty, dirty place in the society, or some shit like that. I don't know. Fucking Rubapi with the fucking Joker makeup. We live in an unclean society, you know. Oh god, that should be the thumbnail. It's self breakdown, you know, just that picture. Where we go from here is death. Wow. Just explode, the video just ends. I don't know. Can I backtrack? How can he backtrack is what I want to say. Backtrack so that he can live a happy life with his friends. Not the Ignis, I'm talking about Yusako and Yusako's friends. Oh, someone's trying to break the fuck in, that doesn't make sense. It's not even late, it's like fucking early in the morning. Because Yusako keeps telling Ai to backtrack, and it's like, how does he backtrack from this? You know, it seems like there's only two ways out. But I like this because even in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zil, spoilers for the ending of that anime, but there was only two options to that duel, and Yuma was very persistent on finding another option through dueling, and he did. He fucking found the option through dueling, and I'm excited to see it come all to fruition, to see it all just flourish and bloom and just be shown, because there's two options. There's Ai dies, Yusaku lives, the world is saved. There's the other option, the darker option, Ai dies. On the flip side, his copies are created and chaos. The world is immersed in chaos, pure chaos, and we don't know what's going to happen. So the world could end, the world couldn't. Who knows? They have their own free will. Fuck. And I can't take back, no take backs, because of the program he did, the whole duel program, he has to lose by duel in order to stop that and free people and all that. The ultimate lore for Playmaker here. So I want to know, what is Playmaker going to find in this duel, in the next final episode? Because, yeah, next episode is the final episode. No arguing about that. What is Yusaku going to find in episode 120? The final episode, or 121, I don't know. I kind of want to say 121, because I really want an epilogue scene, you know what I mean? But I think next episode will be 5 minutes of dueling, and 20 minutes of MMD of Yugi dancing, you know what I mean? And that's the 25th series. Preview to the series. Preview to the Yu-Gi-Oh! 20th anniversary series, all that shit. Or what is our 20th anniversary? What's up, shit? Whatever the fuck. Man, I can't wait for 30 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Whoa. God. Anyway. Damn, I'm about to hit 30 years. Fuck. In 10 more years, I'll hit 30. It's like 2 more Yu-Gi-Ohs, and then I'll hit 30. Or about 4 more at the pace it's going, I'll be honest. Alright, so the Sentinel Selector shit, I'll be honest. But, yeah, I feel like Yusaku's gonna find a third option. And it's gonna be like something no one expected, and it's gonna be a very nice ending. How the episode ends, however, is I asked Playmaker to give up his humanity, what makes him human, his fleshy body, turn it to data, and then live with I, which all I could think of was gay. But he wants to be together with Playmaker in that sense of eternity, forever data, you know what I mean? And so in all honesty, just holy shit, really, this is really how it's all going down. This is really how it's all being handled. Handed, I should say. I don't honestly think Yusaku's gonna take that. Could you imagine, though, the next episode comes, he's like, alright, and then he transforms to data, and then he defeats Ai, but they're merged. So it's some weird bullshit. You know what that probably is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest. You know how fucking weird Yu-Gi-Oh is. Sometimes it's gonna fucking happen. Either that, or we're gonna straight man it, and Yusaku's not gonna turn to data. That ends it. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me. Links in the description to all my profiles and all that. If you think I have a profile on a website, just type in my username, SMOSHOO, and most likely that is me. But in case you're worried because you found it, some profile of me on some fucking like Japanese obscure ass site, or I guess some Spanish site or some shit like that. There's a list of official profiles I have down below. But I do have some that I have not recorded. Like I have a Pixvix account or some shit, you know. Because I always try to find nice Japanese artwork of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I'm a fucking weeb. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, because that gets this video traction so more people can view it and all that. Thank you for sitting through or just even hearing this 30-minute episode, or 30-minute, I guess you could say, recording. I do kind of want to watch the episode over again, but I definitely, next episode, the final episode, I will want to watch when I am actually more awake, like probably around 12 p.m. or some shit like that. I don't know. It's 9 a.m. right now. With all that being said, thank you, and I hope you continue coming back to see my shitpost. I left everything scheduled, so I don't actually know what the hell's being uploaded right now. But it's something, I know that.